Alright guys, yes I'm using my phone for recording this time. Sounds unprofessional but it always looks better, so I think we might just run with this. So anyway, given that Wolfie seems to be getting quite a lot of views in his tier list, I thought I'd have a go doing my own character design one. This is like the default look only, though 4 zombies are all factoring weapon skins and 4 imps ill factoring mechs and stuff like that. So for the tier names we've got sick, cool, fine, meh, lousy and gross. So enough for that, I think we'll just get on with it now. I'll start from the top here I think. So yep, starting at 6 here. I put Negrose here first of all because I think she is the coolest design plant in the game. I'm not a big fan of the Rose class, this one's by far my favourite players and I think is by far the best designed as well. The purple colour just works so well. Her shots look awesome as well. Yeah, great looking character all in all. Disco Chomper as well. This one you're either going to love or hate. I think this guy looks so sick. What also helps is the flashing lights and the noise he makes when he's chomping. Obviously he's got a bit of a bad reputation, given he's a legendary character that it's really hard to get his legendary mode with, and just by virtue of the fact he's a chomper. But his flaws are not in his design, let's just say that. Zen character is basically the same as Necros. The orbs look cool, the hood looks cool, that eyeball thing looks cool. I'm not even sure if it is an eyeball, I'm just looking at the character icons here so I can't see the whole body. The 3 Citrons here. I'm not a big fan of the Citron class overall, but these 3 have really good designs. Even including Electro, despite how crap the character is, his design is still pretty good. And Party as well. The only thing that lets Party Citron down at the top of the glass is, but I can overlook that. Especially because of his ball. He gets the Party Citron ball, it's no different from the regular one. But it just looks so cool, it makes up for the fact that you can't actually customise it. And Vampire as well has spawned so many like Rule 34 memes on Reddit, but it's hard to deny that she has a great design. Commander Corn, I don't think anyone's going to argue with that. Arctic Trooper I think is the best designed zombie. His head looks cool, his weapon looks cool, his gear looks cool. And I think the ice on his foot is the icing on the cake. It just works so well, as if he just stepped that one day, then it froze over him and he couldn't get it out, so he had to be stuck with it. That just like suits the theme of zombies so well. Supremo I've always thought was a great design. From the general helmet to his gun look, and the cannon that he shoots his ZPG out as a nice bonus. Z7 I don't think anyone's going to argue with that, it looks like he's just got the coolest spacesuit on. Party Imp, some might hate on the hair, but I think he looks great and his mech looks really cool as well. And finally we have Toxic Brains. This one is more a personal thing. I just really like his purple and green colour scheme. It makes me feel nostalgic in a way. It reminds me of Can-Do wipes if anyone remembers those. I mean granted, one of the best characters in the game shouldn't remind you of toilet wipes, but hey, it just does. I'm cool tier, yeah, Fire Rose. Not a fan of the character, but she is possibly the best designed fire character in the game. Few Chompers here as well. Count Chomper in particular, if this was Garden Warfare 1, he'd be in top tier, because I think in that game, he is the best designed character next to Plasma P. He just looks incredible in that game, and still looks pretty good in this one, obviously. Twilight as well, I mean, what could you really expect from a Twilight Chomper? Not really much better than that, to be honest. But yeah, and Hot Rod as well. 2 All-Stars, most of the All-Stars are quite low down, I'll explain why when we get to them. These 2 up high up, Goalie because it's Jason Voorhees mask, 1 because it's kind of a meme, and 2 because it makes him look more distinct from the rest. And Wrestling Star I'm biased just because I'm a wrestling fan, but I really like his Lucha Libre get up. And his weapon's cool as well. The 3 Superheroes. Superhero is also another well-designed class. Even if I'm not a fan of these first 2 heroes characters, I think their designs are really cool. The Empire Bones, well, I like how we get the Gym Instructor headband straight away. These 4 cacti here as well. Future might look silly to some, but I think she looks great. I think what really won Bandit cacti over for me is she's got a bandolier on. Got Hovgo here as well, got these 3 sunflowers. Definitely wouldn't consider any of these my favourite sunflowers, but I've always been a fan of their design. In fact, should move Sunflower out to the top. I think I mentioned in my Garden Warfare 1 tier that I could have a higher up. Yeah, you know, I think I'm being generous. More soldiers here. Yeah, I think these are pretty self-explanatory. Camera Ranger doesn't camouflage nearly as well as he did in the first game. That's more about his functionality than his design, and I think his design's still good. With Citron, I think he's the highest out of all the stock characters here, because I put most of them in fine. With Citron, I just like how advanced he is compared to his Plant vs Zombies 2 counterpart, when he's literally just an orange that fired stuff at you. And Computer Scientist. Don't have any of the scientists higher, but this guy up here, just because his nerd theme. His weapon looks cool. I like the green floaty stuff coming from him. And a guest crunch mode as well has got to play its part in this, given that it's the only one that actually has an effect on the screen. Next is the fine tier. I'd say this is the average one. Character designs I don't really have a problem with. I just don't think they're like amazing or anything. Don't really need to explain many of these. Adrian I think is by far the best out of the gun looking pea shooters. Toxel could have put a tier higher up because I think he looks really cool without his mask, but that's not his like default character design, so I kept him in fine. Actually, Imp's another one that could move up as well due to the same reason as Citron. Should I? Actually, I think what lets regular Imp down is I've never really been a fan of his mech design. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I always thought it looked a little bit plain compared to the rest. Draco I thought was, well, cute. Especially with the Dragon Wing helmet. 3 Pirates here. As much as I dislike Flameface's character, I'd say he's probably the best designed out of the Pirates. I mean, this is an order anyway, so I'm not going to like drag him ahead of Sharbite in regular. Most of the Roses here as well. Phosphorus have got highest out of all the ice plants. A few engineers here as well, a class I've never really been a fan of the designs of overall. But I put these three here. Landscape because his attire's quite nice, and he's the only one that actually kept his moustache in this game. They removed it from all the others from GW1. Road, do you think I would have put higher because, well, he's music based, drumstick head, amp back. Oh, I thought he looked a little bit ridiculous though in a way. I mean, he's definitely one of the higher engineers, and painter, cool colours I guess, and face mask, that helps. Torture design I've never been super keen on, but also like how he's an advancement from the mobile games. And the design kind of reminds me of Skylanders in a way, if anyone remembers Tree Rex. And the rest are just sunflowers, soldiers and scientists. And now let's go lower down on the list. We've got the meh tier here, ones that aren't really good or bad, but I'd say worse than ones than fine. Quickest star first of all, I put most of the all-stars in lousy because I think they all look really similar. They could do with a lot more to make them different. Quick star I'll at least put in meh because he's got a cool silver helmet. Plasma P. I know a lot of people would probably expect me to put this lower due to how much of a downgrade it is from GW1. I do agree with that, but I still think it looks fine. Even if you do look at him, he basically looks like a recoloured regular P shooter. Right now, Ice P. Ice Caps are also ones to put low down. I thought they're really dull and monotonous. Ice P I did put ahead of the rest. I thought Snow P in the mobile games had quite a cool design, and Ice P's not quite as good as that. But I think it looks good on certain maps, and they at least kept the crystals on his head, which I thought was a nice touch. Pylon, for a zombie that's clearly referencing the Conehead zombies. I never really thought he looked cool. His mech is not the best either. You can make an argument for the Blink Pylon mech, although that's kind of an alternate one, so that's basically the same as putting an extra customization on him to make him look better so he doesn't get ahead. Shrimp I like his mech design, but the imp design is not all that. Yeah, these three pirates here as well. Never really been a fan of other designs. These two chompers, Power in particular, look so much better than Garden Warfare 1. Still don't really have a problem with them in this game, they're not all that. Druid Rose, all the tiki-like mask was a little dumb. These four engineers, just because they're nothing special really. Electrician, I'll see why they changed him, because on Garden Warfare 1 he looked far too similar to Landscape, now he just looks like a generic carpenter. Sanitation Expert is a bit debatable. I think the trash on his head works quite well, but the rest of him is a bit bland, and I'm not a fan of his weapon design. Scuba's a little OTT for me. Sky Trooper, as much as I like this character, his design is like too similar to Tank Commands, except he's got the cool goggles, and this guy just got this helmet. Scientist, you think I should put higher because of my Halloween costume, but just didn't. Right, so now the lousy tier. Lore P, yeah, this one's going to be a Storm and Teacup, isn't it? I've just never really been a fan of the ones with, like, significantly altered snouts. Like how this one's a lot longer and Commander P's a lot shorter. I'll at least put Lore above Commando, though, because Lore's got the hat, which makes up for it, but I think the gun the snout just doesn't work for me. These two Citrons, I think the only reason I didn't pile them in the bottom is just because they're ball designs. I mean, even then Frozen's quite boring, but I think if Frozen had glasses, he'd be a lot better. Conversely, if Toxic Citron didn't have those glasses, I'd like his design more. I'm not sure if that's meant to be a gas mask or what. I think that whole thing's fine, but the glasses just completely kill it for me. Yeah, these 6 all-stars I've already mentioned. I would put Motocross Star ahead of the rest, if it wasn't for his handlebars, because I do think his weapon's quite cool. Mob Cob's also controversial. This guy is one of my favourite plants, and I get he's meant to look like a member of the Mafia, but to me he just looks like a guy in his pyjamas. AC Perry looks like the world's least intimidating ice cream man. Armor Chomp I thought looked a bit better in Garden Warfare 1, but now he looks too similar to Horror and his design's just bland. Petrified Cactus never been a fan of. I never thought the whole chicken theme in there was that good either. Metal Pet I like could tolerate in GW1, but in this one, it's like the same story with Armor Chomp really. Stuffy, despite being the polar opposite of Metal Pet in terms of functionality, just looks like a really creepy Build-A-Bear character. I don't know if that's the point or not. I would have put her in bottom as well, but I'll put her up just because I really like her Rainbow Sunburst shots. And Physicist. I didn't realise until making this how much he looks like the newspaper zombie. It's almost like they just took his model from that. But yeah, never been a fan of him. Maybe they're trying to model him after Albert Einstein instead, but it just doesn't work for me. Oh boy, now we have the gross tier. You see a trend of these first year. The camps themselves are either like insane or just complete arse. And starting with 2 insane ones, Party Corn, I feel like a lot of people like this guy's design, but me, I thought it just looks like a bunch of random splash of colour. Looks like a kid made it on paint or something. In fact, no, a kid didn't make it on paint, but it's probably close enough given that he's literally just a remodel of the barbecue corn. I found an image of Reddit that basically says it. They even kept his splatters in because they got too lazy to change his design. So that just makes it even worse. The other thing I do like is his headband, but that doesn't really make up for his downfalls. Commando P, big fan of this character, but to me he just looks like a pug. Cute, but not really ideal. He looks like he had his nose completely flattened. Rock P, awful character, looks like dried up mud. Chump Thing, why did they have to have a swamp one out of all things? Because I'm not thinking of something better for like a non-elemental spray weapon. Kamikactus, once again, long snout. And to me, she looks like a worse version of the regular cactus. Tennis style I put below all the rest of the All-Stars. He's more distinctive from the rest, sure, but I thought the blonde hair looks ridiculous, and with a headband. To me, he looks like a zombified version of Mark Knopfler. Oh, here's a controversial one. Breakfast brains. Especially if you're a Wolfie fan, given all the memes there. Even the gym instructor look won't save him here, given that, like I said, it's default looks only. And a toast on his head, really. I also don't understand why this character has a theme out of all things. With superheroes, you've got a regular, the party variant, a toxic one, an electro one, a space themed one, and then a breakfast themed one, really. Finally, these last two engineers. Mechanic, as much as I like him, I've never liked the toolbox on his head at all. I thought it looks dumb and not even in a good way. And Plumber, pretty boring design, a plunger on his head, a toilet on his back, boring weapon look. Yeah, that's it really. So that's it for this list. I'm Golden Ninja Vlogspot. Tell me if you agree or disagree in the comments. Please like the video, subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching. Bye.